Hello and welcome back to the Naked Marriage Podcast. We are Dave and Ashley Willis, and on this podcast, we address the truth about sex, intimacy, and lifelong love. And you guys, you've asked for this, you have emailed us about it, you have commented on Instagram about it, and we are finally having an episode about menopause and marriage, so be ready. And we have the perfect couple to interview about this, and Dave is going to tell you all about them.
Menopause, and a word you might not have known yet, menopause.
Menopause.
What's that, you ask? Well, just wait. You'll see. We're so excited to interview our friends Kenny and Heidi Drury. They are part of the team here at XO Marriage. They are two of our mediators, which are the folks that are on the front lines meeting with couples right here at the XO Center in Southlake, Texas, marriage capital of the world. And also they're available to meet, via Skype and those sorts of things. They do an incredible job encouraging couples. And we have been talking to our team about just the need for having a conversation around menopause, like Ashley said, something so many have written in about, something that we're trying to prepare for as well. Yep. And I'm like, well, let's not just talk about it in a theoretical way. Let's talk to someone who's in it and willing to share their story. And Kenny and Heidi are so awesome and real, and they're willing to just come and share what they're walking through right now. We're honored to have you guys. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Definitely pleased here.
Yeah, thrilled to have you guys here. But before we dive into the menopause part, we always have people tell us their love story. How did it start? Where'd you meet?
Oh, dang.
And
Oh my God.
so start there. Yeah.
Well, we met at a bar.
Hey, well, there you go.
There was a brewery she worked at, and I did my payroll there. And I'd go there and have a couple beers on Friday, and
you say,
she was
that?
a server. Yeah. Oh,
Aw.
yeah. Heidi is what she said.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's a whole story behind that too.
There sure is, yeah.
Well, yeah, we've been together now going on 18 years. We're a blended family. I brought 3 boys to the marriage. Kenny I brought 2 boys. He brought 3 daughters.
Girls, yeah.
Oh,
And now
sweet.
we have 7 grandbabies.
Oh,
Whoa.
my goodness.
It happens quick, too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Good for you. That's amazing.
That is so awesome.
And you guys have, you're such an inspiration. You've helped so many people here already.
Thank you.
But, like we were talking about beforehand, menopause is no joke, right? I mean, it's it changes things, and it can be a challenge for the woman, obviously, physically, emotionally, in all ways, hormonally, and for the man, which is the menopause we're referring to. We're walking through this together. So we just wanted to hear your story and to hear your experience and to hear whatever insights and advice you would give for couples who are in it, who are preparing for it. So we just want to learn from your expertise. So tell us what took you by surprise with menopause, or what, I don't even want to put words in your mouth. You just tell us about menopause, and we'll start there.
Well, I came to menopause differently than some women. I had a partial hysterectomy when I was 35 years old, so they removed part of my parts, but I kept my ovaries. So that's the part that creates all the fun hormone flashes, hot flashes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I was warned that I might start to go into it earlier. I'm now 53, but I would say in the last probably 4 years is when I've really, really noticed a difference. I've always been a warm-blooded individual, always ran hot, but I'm talking about, you think Texas is hot? These hot flashes are no joke.
Oh, man.
And I would say, for me, my hot flashes, and I would assume everybody's symptoms obviously are different.
Sure.
But mine come with almost an adrenaline pump. So when I get them, I feel like fight or flight turns on, and I get anxiety on top of it.
Oh, man, okay.
So it wasn't just like I need to fan off and cool off. It was, I couldn't sleep at night because I would go into fight or flight right before bedtime.
Yeah.
And that was the worst. Go to lay down.
So then you're never rested.
No. Well, that's a whole nother ball of wax of the menopause. Your sleep cycle's off. I'll wake up at 1 or 2 ready to start the day.
Really? Okay.
And then about 3 or 4 o'clock before dinner, I want to go to bed. So my whole sleep cycle was definitely off. So I think the lack of sleep, the hot flashes, and then no woman loves to gain weight. So that's really been a real struggle for me. I grew up dancing, like I know you did too, Ashley.
Yes.
So I danced for like 20 years, played sports, never had a problem. I could eat anything. And of course, grandma at a young age is like, someday, sweetie, you won't be able to eat whatever you want. And I was like, whatever, grandma.
Right.
But it's true. The minute those hormones change, your body completely changes, a lot like pregnancy. But it's been, 5 times harder to go back to like premenopause weight. I call it like baby weight. So it's just it's not fun at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead.
No, I mean, I know it's a lot, and this isn't to like scare anybody because it is part of
Yeah,
life.
it's a natural part of the life.
A natural
cycle.
part of life. But we wanted to have this episode so there could be understanding, because a lot of times couples will write us. A lot of times it's the husband or wife, and they'll just say like, help me, because this is not only affecting, like the wife will say me personally and how I feel, but my relationship, because, sometimes women will say they'll have rage because it's making them feel so bad. Or even like in the bedroom, things are kind of off there. And so then there's this frustration between them because it's not working like it once did, because she's, the hormone change. Or the men will write us and they're like, I think I've done something wrong. My wife is so frustrated with me all the time. I don't know what to do to help her. Yeah. And it's not that they're like blaming her, but they're just like, I am, this is over my head. I don't know what to do.
Because men, we want to be fixers.
Right.
And that's exactly it.
I don't know how to fix. I don't know how to help.
Right. I think,
Yeah.
I think both men and women often feel inadequate. And like you said, Heidi, there's a spectrum of symptoms, and some it's like more severe than others. But I do think that every woman, to some extent, is going to experience some changes, hormonally, and even like I have yet to meet a woman in menopause who hasn't had some change in her body.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting too. It hits in a time of life too, where the change in our body, we feel it even more so, don't you think?
Yes.
And then that can, when we don't feel as confident, that even affects our marriage, because we aren't in a good place. And so I would love to know, kind of in the midst of this, what are some things that you feel like have worked in keeping your marriage strong, like going through this time of your life?
Well, first of all, prayer.
Okay, yes.
Absolutely.
I think we learned years ago from Jimmy, one of the things that we have done even before we had menopause, is before our feet hit the ground in the morning, is to really pray, Holy Spirit, give me your fruits so that I'm not living out of the flesh. And it's really important now, more so than ever.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. And just open communication, because you tend to want to just feel like it's your issue. And I heard Lynette and Sean this morning on Instagram even saying, like, when one of you is suffering, really the marriage is suffering.
We're all suffering.
We're all suffering. Mm-hmm. So open and honest communication obviously has to be there too.
Right.
And I think especially for the husband, to understand we don't want to feel this way.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not choosing to be grouchy. I'm not choosing not to be sexually intimate with you now. Sure. I'm not choosing to not be happy with myself. I feel so out of control. So for him to understand that and to have empathy for that's been a huge thing.
Man, empathy is so important, right?
Yeah, a big thing for me was just learning how not to take it personal. Because it's like, I know I didn't do anything. I mean,
I don't think I did.
I don't think I did. Did I leave the toothpaste cap off? Did I leave the socks on the floor? So I'll just walk through the house. No, I'm good.
Yeah. But you're like, where is this rage coming from? And a lot of times it's just, like you said, I mean, physiologically, stuff's going on. And you're like, I don't, I know that sometimes I've heard some women say, like, listen, I get it. I am not pleasant right now, but I just I can't seem to control this. Like,
well,
I want to, but I can't, right now.
Actually, I've never, of course, been through menopause, but I experienced a lot of hormonal changes. Related to a thyroid issue, and while we were trying to navigate that, like my hormones were all over the place. My serotonin in my mind was, my testosterone was gone, and I was not myself. No. I was frustrated all the time. I couldn't snap out of it. I even said some of the same words. I get that I'm not pleasant right now, and I'm trying to snap out of it, and I just can't pull myself out of it. And thankfully, Ashley was so tender through that time, and really, set the bar high for how I hope to be, when she experiences hormonal changes. But we walked through that it was a process.
It is a process.
It was a fairly long process, and thankfully came through that, and there was medication and stuff to help. So all that to say, I think there are different things in life that can happen to either spouse, where health or hormones can get off and we can just not be at our best, and we need to be really tender with each other in those moments. But the thing about menopause is it's something it's coming. Yeah. It's something that is going to happen unless you've had a hysterectomy or something where, all at once things are totally removed. But even then,
you still have stuff.
Even then, there's even if you got a full hysterectomy, there are still massive hormonal changes and physical changes, it just kind of happens faster, I guess,
Sure.
instead of more than the natural process of menopause. And this is not, there's nothing wrong with you for having menopause. I think
Sure. Well, of
sometimes our
course,
culture has maybe made women feel like there's something wrong with you because you're going through this. It's like, this is the most natural, this is a very natural but difficult part of life.
Right.
And those who are listening like, well, what can we do for that? We'll want to talk to those who are in it, but to those who are maybe preparing for it, right? Like if you could rewind the clock a few years before all these changes started and give yourself some advice to prepare, give your husband some advice as he prepares, and what would you say to yourself? What would you say to yourself? Because some people are listening and they're not there yet, and they're like, if there's anything we can do physically, emotionally, in terms of our relationship, whatever, to enter into that with the right mindset, we want to do it. So what advice would you give?
Yeah.
Well, I think, first of all, you have to be your own advocate. And it's very shocking to me, even now that I'm in it, that every doctor has a different opinion. There's so much information on the internet, like which hormone is good, which is bad. And a lot of that information conflicts with each other. So you're like, I don't know. If I take this, will I get cancer? Will I not get cancer? Is this going to help? Is this not going to help?
Yeah.
So kind of be ready to be like, getting your PhD in menopause is what I like to say.
Right.
Because you have to kind of like be told this is what you can do, then research it, ask people for their opinions, but it doesn't have to be, the truth for you. It's just, you're just kind of finding out what works for you. Everybody's, hormones and metabolisms are different, so everybody deals with it different. I think just have an open mind, and you really have to know what's right for you, your family, and God. You know what I mean? So being in prayer about it, and somebody else, what works for them will probably not work for you, or it might work for a little bit and then it changes. So just being flexible, patient, and that is probably one of my least, I'm not very patient.
That's on both sides of the fence right there, the patience.
I can relate to it. It's a struggle.
I can relate. Yeah.
And as a guy, just be prepared for a cool house. Have blankets like I was telling Dave earlier. I got my UGG boots. I'm probably the only guy in Texas that wears UGG boots during the summer.
Bundled up in Texas.
Bundled up in
Just
Texas
cold,
with a
gotta keep it
blanket.
cold.
I can, if I'm going to be on the couch, I got a blanket, and sometimes I'll just get up and sneak it up a couple of degrees, and
I instantly
all of a sudden the
knows.
clothes come off because she's like
Don't
sweating
touch
like
the
crazy.
thermostat.
I will have to say, I'm not convinced that he's not partly happy with menopause because we're in empty nesters, obviously, so that's amazing. But I don't wear a lot of clothes these days because it's literally
What's
anything makes me hot.
What's awesome is I'll turn around. I'll be doing something in the kitchen. I'll turn around and it's like,
Hello.
She's in her undies. Yeah.
I think I like this part of menopause.
I mean, it's nice for him, but that part is just like, I'm like, don't touch me, I'm sweating. And you sweat from the inside out. It's not, you can see when I'm warm, but usually it comes from within. You turned on the furnace from the inside out. So I'm just like, all right, whatever. Enjoy the
show.
I get the show, but I don't envy it.
Yeah.
Well, what are the things that he has done that have been most helpful to you? Because for the guys listening, and they're like, I want to be supportive, but again, when we're fixers, and this is something we can't truly fix, but we want to be supportive. So what has he done that has been really helpful and meaningful?
Well, first of all, again, prayer. Covering me in prayer has been huge.
Yeah.
Not taking it personal and accepting apology when I have to apologize for being snappy or not myself. And just being willing to go to appointments with me. Yesterday he went and picked up 2 medications for me at the pharmacy. Yeah. I would say, just being a support in those little things, doing the dishes extra, taking anything off my plate that would make me more irritable.
Right.
And acts of service is my love language anyway, so that he gets double points, in the win column. In the win column. So I would say those are huge.
Nice
That's
work,
awesome.
Kenny.
What I hear you saying is just knowing you're not alone in this. Really having a true partnership mentality.
Yeah.
And I love that. And I want to say this real quick. Where this podcast, we have conversations with people talking about their own experience, and so we're not doctors here, but so you need to consult your doctor about things and counselors, whoever those professionals in your life. But Heidi, I would love to hear what has worked for you. What things have brought you relief? any kind of thing you want to share.
And yeah, she even brought some with her. She's got some portable
Wonderful.
fans.
I have the hot flash fan. This is for church and places that you need to be a little more quiet. And then I have the, the one that hangs around the neck.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
found this
awesome.
one at a like a swap meet. I saw it and I went
Perfect.
For free.
giving them away, and then that one there, I went into Rite Aid, I think, and picked that one up. She was sweating
That
like
is so
crazy.
Yeah,
nice.
money well
just-
spent.
Yeah,
And it's like on hand.
on
so you
hand.
have it.
And the thing is, with these, if somebody else is cold and you're not, you don't have to go torture them. So
That's true. Yeah.
just handy tools like this, and there's a variety of them on Amazon, especially, or in your local store. You can do that. Let's see, exercise is really good for me, but not the typical exercise that I would have been used to back in my 20s and 30s. You actually have to slow it down. Weights is really good for building muscle, but you have to be less aerobic, which is really hard for me because that was always my favorite thing to
Right.
do. So I find just walking, we love to walk together. So just being together walking works really good. If I had a walk-in freezer, that would be amazing. So I think we should remodel the house.
right.
Or just go to like Costco and hang out where they have like the
Going
giant.
with
You
the-
have no
Freezer
clue,
at
dude. It
Costco.
is. He's like,
Yes.
see you in a minute, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, you won't.
Yeah.
no, you
I'm just
won't.
gonna
I'm gonna be in here.
Be here in the milk section.
Be here in the
the
milk
best.
section.
Yeah.
The best.
So that's helped. And then I finally had to make a decision where I couldn't be like this tough girl. I had to go get medication.
I was going to ask
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
that.
because I didn't want to. I just put it off. But it got to the point where I just felt like an elephant would sit on me on top of being hot and whatnot. So I went and had all my labs done, and they started looking at everything. And for me, I am still ovulating very irregularly, which is hard to tell because I don't have regular menstrual cycles.
exactly.
But they have to take blood work. So I still don't need estrogen, but the testosterone cream they started me on.
Yes. Yes.
And then progesterone. And then they recently just put me on thyroid because for about 5 weeks, the testosterone cream was working amazing. I literally within 2 days looked at him and said, I'm sorry, I didn't realize how unhappy I had been. It was like having PMS, like kind of constantly. Oh, man. And so for about 5 weeks or so, the cream was working great. And then literally it just stopped.
Like a switch
Like
went
a
off.
switch went off. And
Really?
I guess sometimes the absorption rate of the cream can slow down. So I've gone back, had more tests. They put me on thyroid because that's a little low. And I'm looking into the pellets. So that's my next option.
Yes.
And I have an appointment in a couple weeks to go get that because
Good.
Ashley's done the pellets.
I have done the pellets. Now, I did it, this is interesting, when I was in my 30s.
Yeah.
And I did it for the energy because we got all this. We went to a DO, a doctor of osteopath,
Yeah.
which, do you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
I do,
They
yeah.
sometimes do the more wide spectrum tests. That's who discovered Dave's Hashimoto's, his thyroid
Yeah.
disorder. But when we were doing all that with your thyroid, she was like, well, what about you? Let me do your labs. And I had, some things that were off. And so I did the pellet, and but only with testosterone. Now, in your case, they probably would. Well, you said you don't need estrogen quite
no, I
yet.
don't yet. So we'll go for a while until that. Yeah. So
Okay.
it's just the
So
testosterone.
just the testosterone. Let me tell you, I felt great. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't even think of any bad side effects for me personally.
and I will say that I really enjoyed it.
I
wanna-
second that.
Can I tell you?
Yeah, it was great.
She was
Will
chasing
raise
me
your
around.
libido.
I'm like,
Well, the testosterone
Like,
cream
wow.
is like, yes, amazing. So I'm just saying, it's like I'm in my 20s again.
No, no. Dave was
pretty
like,
cool.
Dave was like, please never get off this.
Please
because
don't stop.
That's how I felt.
This is amazing. He would even joke and be like, I'm not a piece of meat, but I like being a piece of meat.
Right. I have feelings too. I'm not just for sex.
Well, I didn't notice it so much until it stopped working, and it was like all of a sudden the flood came back. Went, oh yeah,
Oh,
I remember this.
yes. Yes.
Well, because you get up and you just get busy with life. You
Yeah.
know,
You do.
move.
You
do.
Our kids had finally gotten all out of the house, and and so now it's just a lot more free too. So
Yes.
you'll experience that someday.
Naked time.
I know. I know.
You guys, I'm telling you.
No, I'm going to be naked
Like,
all the time.
He's so
Once-
excited
Empty
about
nesting?
the
Oh,
naked
yeah.
days coming up.
You guys, seriously, it's the best.
It's not overrated.
We love our kids and we love our
Yes.
grandbabies, but I'm telling you, it's so freeing.
Yes. One of my best friends, they're also in their early 50s, just now became empty nesters. And she said, Ashley, it's even better than I anticipated.
No.
And she's like, and I love for my college students to visit, but I'm like, can you not on this day? And they now know, she's like, they know that we're having our naked time. And it's like, we're enjoying our empty nester time. So don't come home yet, okay?
There's this welcome mat on Amazon that I'm
Oh,
going to get,
gosh.
and it says knock first, we're probably naked.
Yeah, I know you're probably going to get that, Matt.
As soon as the last one moves out.
You just want
we
to
used
weird
to
out
have
all our
we
people.
used to have code words. I don't know if you guys have that. Code words, and if a candle, usually that was the kids.
Candle.
That was
I love
Yankee
it.
Candle
Yankee
before
Candle
Yankee
time.
Candle was popular, but
Yeah.
I
we
love
had
it.
a code word, and ours was, would you like to go do
Let's
laundry?
go fold the
Yes.
laundry.
Because
Yes.
no child ever
Wants to fold laundry.
Wants to fold laundry, so they never followed us into our bedroom.
That's right. They hate laundry.
They hate it.
That's brilliant. See,
You want to
we-
clean the bathroom?
Yes.
I mean, just use something like that.
I
The
do.
kids will go the opposite
Yeah,
direction.
I'd love it.
They're
I've been
like-
wanting to clean the bathroom all day.
They're like, I'm not doing this. We always just say we're getting ready. And but that's way more creative. We need to take a
Yeah, we're going to go fold some laundry. Yeah, they'll avoid it because they still.
We're folding laundry. Give us a minute.
Yeah.
We're trying to match the socks.
Are you guys done folding laundry
Can't
yet?
find the socks.
Taking you a while in there. No, I love. These are all such great tips.
These are great tips. And,
And,
listen,
yeah.
we want people to be able to connect with you as well,
Definitely.
like because you're like I said at the start, you're part of this team. You're one of our mediators, and if folks are dealing with things in their marriage, menopause related or not, I mean, you guys are qualified to help people
sure.
through
Absolutely.
any issues. Like, I want to make sure you give you an opportunity to tell folks where they can find you if they're interested in that.
Yeah.
Well, absolutely. So obviously you can go to EXO, the website, and if you need help, you can hit marriage request form and do it that way. Or Kenny and I each have our own email address here at EXO Marriage. So just our
Yes.
first name, Heidi, or Kenny at exomarriage.com.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it. And you guys are just a wealth of knowledge. And you're so, you really are so relatable and personable. And you're just,
thank you.
I mean, and you're fun. Like those of you who know the curling iron story, if you don't know, look it up on YouTube. You all sent the best response to that. They did a picture acting like you're reenacting the curling. It's really,
It's one of my
in your own
favorites.
way, of
Yeah.
course.
You guys are
but-
just so fun.
I mean,
we love you
that was
guys.
my favorite day. That was like my favorite message. It was hilarious, and she's doing this. It's the best.
It
It's
is.
the best.
Oh my gosh.
But definitely look them up. Heidi and Kenny, they're awesome.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
guys.
And we're praying for you guys, through the season and beyond. And
Yes,
thank
yes.
you.
We
covet
Thank you
the
for all
prayers.
that you do.
Oh, thank you
right.
so much. It's
For
our
sure.
pleasure.
Well,
are awesome.
and thank you guys for watching. We love and appreciate all of you. Do us a favor, share this episode because I promise you there's somebody, even if you're not yet there, there are people in your life who are in this season and they need this encouragement. So share this. It'll mean a lot. And we'll see you guys next time.